Thank you for buying the Superworm Breeding Kit from bugbreedingkits.com, and I'm going to show you how to use our kit right now. So unpack your kit. You should have 2 bins. Take the food that came with the kit and place about a ½ an inch of food in one of the bins. Just pick one. Then take the superworms and place those in the bin, and then slice up a potato to give them something to drink. And what you want to do then is leave them for a couple days so that they could eat and drink and rest stop after their long trip to you. Now, after a couple days, after your worms are rested, you replace that potato as you need to. Once it starts to dry out, you replace it. Then you're going to take your separator and you're going to dig out the superworms, and you're going to put 1 worm in each compartment of the separator. So no bedding, no potatoes, no food, no nothing. Just a worm in each compartment of the separator. This is a little tricky because the worms will try to escape as you're putting them in, so you have to just play around with it a little bit until you get it to work properly. You just don't want to double up any worms because they will not morph. They won't become pupa if you don't separate them. They have to be in individual compartments in order to turn. We want them to become beetles, and this is the only way to do it. So once you're done, then you want to close that up. And there's just a shot of what it looks like, in, having each one separated. And remember, no food or water, no nothing. You don't need to make air holes. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is close it up, place it in a nice warm, 75 to 80 degree place. On top of a refrigerator is fine. Down by a furnace is fine. On top of a water heater is fine. And now, in about a week, they should turn and curl up. So that's normal. When you see that they're not dead, those are just curled up and getting ready to morph into a pupa, and then they'll become a beetle. So if you take a look at this now, that's about at 2 weeks of them being in the container, they become pupa. And as you can see, they look totally different. They're not worms anymore. They look like a space alien. And then at about 3 to 4 weeks, those are going to become beetles. Once you start to see the beetles, you take the second container, take more food and bedding that comes with the kit, place another ½ an inch in that bin, smooth it out, and then you want to put the beetles into that bin as they morph. So you want to just keep doing that. So what you can do is if say 3 or 4 morph today, you take those 3 or 4 out and then replace them with a fresh worm, and you'll have a continuous supply of beetles that way. So all the beetles go into the container, and this is their first time as beetles as an adult. And they're going to need a drink, and they're going to want food, and they're going to want to mate. So just slice up a potato, give them something to drink, and you just leave that container at, like I said before, 75 to 80 degrees. And in about a week or 2, you're going to have very, very small superworms. At about 3 weeks, you're going to have visible superworms that are about 1 inch long. And I'm going to show you that in a second. So this is the same group 3 weeks later. And you'll see, I'll take a close up, you'll be able to see the very small superworms running around in there. There are probably hundreds, maybe even 1,000 superworms in there. And you could see them crawling around. So they're, look up in the corners there, you could see them all. So that's exactly what you'll have. And you just keep, every time the potato dries out, just keep slicing potato and keep refreshing their bedding.